Okay, I'm here with Pastor Tom Brown from Word of Life Church in El Paso, Texas. We have been close friends for a long time. In fact, Pastor Tom gave me one of my first opportunities to ever preach at a church. When I was still a teenager, he had me come preach on the fire of God. And then my brother and I used to dress up as clowns, and he had us come in and minister to the kids at his church several times. And so, Pastor Tom, it's great to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you. It was great to be on. God bless.
And this is the Evangelism podcast. We're talking about evangelism and church growth and different ways that churches are reaching out to their community. And so your church is growing very rapidly there in El Paso, Texas. Tell us, what are you doing to reach people for Jesus in your community?
Well, the first time we met, we were getting ready to do our Harvest Festival. So in replacement of Halloween, we have something for the kids. And then we also preach the gospel every 20 minutes. Well, kids are, hundreds of kids will be coming in there. That's why we invited you to come and do it. I think that was, Sonia told me that was the first time we had you come to do the Harvest Festival. So one of the simple outreaches once a year is we have that Harvest Festival. And it's amazing how many people end up joining the church just because of it. They come to the Lord. Hundreds of hands will be raised during this 2-hour festival. As we do a Christian play every 20 minutes while people are there. So that's one outreach. Of course, we also have our church televised on television. Let's not forget, though social media is getting more and more important, people still watch television too. So we're on CBS, NBC. We're the most widely watched local program in the city of most local religious program in the city of El Paso. We've seen the ratings. We come up on our hour, the number 2 highest rated show every time we're on at the 6:30 and the 7:30 time slot. So we're excited. I mean, the stations do not want us to leave because we bring a big audience there. So we still reach out with television. And now with COVID that's taken place, we now have a feeding program, which we did not really officially had before. What we did is anyone who needed food, we would give them a gift card to go to a local grocery store from one of our members, and they would go buy groceries and buy what they want. But we realized with COVID and 50 million people getting unemployed during this shutdown and this COVID, we had to help people. So every Thursday, we have from 300 to 500 plus cars, family cars, will come in, and we will load the trunk of their cars with lots of food. And they will be wrapped around the church. They will be wrapped around all the way to the next exit. I mean, we're at a corner. So you go down Pratt, then they turn on Saul Kleinfeld, all the way down to the next major exit. It's incredible. And then we have people with t-shirts saying that they're ready to pray for people. So as people are waiting in line, we have people asking for prayer. What do you not need God to do for you? And so that's another outreach that we're doing. And of course, yeah.
And I see you're also very active on Facebook, doing teachings on Facebook. How have people responded to that?
It's tremendous. I mean, right now, it used to be our website that has been the most successful. I mean, we were one of the top religious sites for a long time in all of the Southwest. We're probably still very high, but we had some trouble when we had to get a new software, and that new software messed up our algorithm, so we weren't ranking as high, but we still get a lot of visitors. But now we realize social media is becoming more of an important factor than just people going to the website. They like to see you live. One of the things I learned is go live. You could record something and put it up. You'll get some good views, but you'll get the most when you go live, because people want to see all your mistakes. They want to see that.
See that you're human.
Yeah, that's right.
Not all polished.
Yes, it's not polished. There's going to be no editing. We're not going to bleep a word. It's all going to be there. So people like it live. So I'll come up with a teaching, a revelation, and I'll just share for a few minutes a revelation that God gives me. And then I've discovered, my website used to get 1/10 of all hits was from my tortilla soup recipe. I'd actually put it on there just so I didn't have to write it out for all my members. So I had millions. I don't mean hundreds of thousands, millions of downloads
from your tortilla
from the tortilla soup. Yes. So people one person said they put too many chipotle peppers, and they now call it exorcism soup. because people know me as an exorcist as well. They've seen me on MSNBC, the History Channel, ABC 2020. But so I found a niche. My associate pastor said, Bishop, start doing these cooking things. Did you see how many people were viewing you? I said, I know, I was strange. Why would so many people want to see a minister cook a recipe? But they do. And then I'll interject while I'm cooking some teachings, some thoughts of the scriptures. You know what I mean? Maybe when I'm waiting for something to boil, I'll begin to preach.
So you're like the cooking evangelist pastor.
Maybe so. That
would be a great show.
You got to come up with a name for me.
The cooking pastor.
Well, let's keep working on the title. But anyway,
the chef who leads you.
The heavenly cook.
You can give them the good ingredients and the bad, the good
words. Yeah. So we're doing everything we can, and we do it. Probably I go live 4 or 5 times a week, and we get huge hits. People just come, and then of course all of our services, or at least our 11 o'clock service and Wednesday Bible study, it's all live. And our Spanish service is also live. And my associate pastor gets almost as many hits as I do. He's so popular too. So
what advice would you give to a young pastor who's just starting out, they want to grow their church?
Well, I think number one, you got to come up with the name of a church. You got to come up with a logo. You have to come up with a web page. You have to know where you're going to be located, who's going to do your praise and worship. And then you have to figure out, we got to have an online presence. I already mentioned a web page, but you have to have that online presence on Facebook, Instagram, some of the other bigger ones. And I tell people, stay with the big ones. You don't have to work so hard. They already have a ready-made audience for you. And then work it. And start to witness to people, minister to people, invite them to your church. And I'll tell you, they'll be successful if they'll work it hard.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Pastor Tom.
God bless you.
Daniel King is on a mission to save 1 million souls a year, but he can't do it alone. Would you consider sowing a financial seed today? To give, please visit www.kingministries.com.